Hey guys, I'm Kevin. Long time no see, but we're back here with a new video for you, and we're going to take a look at 3 reasons to learn the major scale. Now don't go running away too quickly here, because I know that's a music theory term you've probably heard, but I'm going to give you 3 easy ways to use this scale that's going to help you become a better uke player. So let's dive in. Alright, so first things first here, we're going to take a look at the major scale and how to play it. Today we're going to do this demonstration in the key of C, keeping it nice and simple using some open strings. So we start here with our open C string, and when we pluck the string, we're using the thumb of our picking hand. Now we really want to line our fingers up here over the first 4 frets so that we assign our index to the first fret, middle to the second, and ring to the third. So our first note in the major scale is C, and that is the root of the scale. So we just play our open C string. Our next note is D, which occurs on the second fret on the C string, and we play that here with our middle finger. Then we go down to our open E string, and then our next note is F, which we play on the first fret of the E string. Then we go to the third fret of the E string and play G. So let's just take a quick review here. So we have C, D, E, F, G. Then we move down to our open A string. And then our second fret on the A string is B. And then we finish it off with C. So the major scale has 7 notes in it because C occurs twice. So when we go through the scale again, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then you go back and you end with your open C. So that is the scale if you were to play it in the key of C. So if you wanted to move this shape, the cool thing about this scale is wherever your first note is the root of the scale. So if I were to start the scale here on the second fret on a D note, now I can play that exact same pattern, except I don't have any open strings to work with, so I have to shift everything up. So here's a demonstration of the scale in the key of D. So D is my first note, D, E on the 4th fret, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. So I just wanted to demonstrate that for you so that you know that the major scale can be moved all the way up the neck, and the first note of the scale will determine what key you're in, D, E, F, G, and so forth. But now, let's take a look at the first reason why you should spend your time learning the scale. The first reason to learn the major scale is to improve your finger dexterity, and it's great to use as a warm-up before you start practicing. So what I like to do is just simply go through the scale nice and slow, back and forth. And maybe I'll do that 5 to 10 times as a warm-up. And as you're doing that, you can also learn the names of the notes as you go. Now when you're first doing it, don't even worry about saying the notes, just worry about making sure every note rings out clean and clear. You're hitting the strings with the same pressure, the same amount of sound is coming out. And you start off very slow. Now, for those of you who use a metronome, you can incorporate that as well and practice the scale at different speeds. So you can work on your speed in your warm-up as well, going through the scale. Slow, methodical, making sure every note rings out nice and clear. And what I'm also doing is I'm training my fingers to do the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm working on that muscle memory and really instilling that good, clean practice into my routine. If you're digging the sound of my uke, head over to allforuke.com/shop. You can have a Kali ukulele for yourself. When you buy your Kali ukulele through AllForUke, you're supporting us, and we really appreciate it. Make sure you check it out. Concerts, sopranos, tenors, baritones, a wide selection of accessories, capos, and more. All for you, allforuke.com/shop. The second reason to learn the major scale is to learn the notes, especially learning the notes within the first 3 to 5 frets, where you're going to find a lot of use for that. Because once you start learning the notes, you can start learning how to improvise using the scale. Because the scale is essentially just a map of the notes that you can use within a key. So learning the names of them will help you starting to put this together. And if you ever move on to playing chord melody, it's going to give you the infrastructure to do so. So now that we've learned how to play through it and just kind of use it as a warm-up, now I want you to start saying the notes as you go through it and just saying them verbally to yourself. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Now once you know the names of the notes, if you're playing a song in the key of C, or you're playing with somebody else who's in the key of C, or you're playing in a big group setting where everybody is playing a song that's in the key of C, you can pick notes from the scale pattern and improvise over them. So learning the scale is just giving you a map. So playing through these notes is just kind of basically tell you which notes are right and wrong. But actually applying this scale is to create melodies from this, which means deriving a couple of notes from the scale and turning them into little phrases, like so. Instead of playing, which sounds very scale-like, I might just use a couple of notes from the scale, like this. Now I've just chosen the notes C, B, and A. And if you mix up the order of these, the number of times you play them, you can do a lot with a few notes. So that's something I challenge you to do. Take the major scale after you've practiced it a few times and try creating a couple of little phrases, little melodies. Learn how to improvise. Just have fun with it. Spend time, put on a backing track that's in the key of C and play some chords, or have somebody play some chords in the key of C while you practice making up little melodies. That's the really fun way to use the scale. So again, number 2 is to start learning the notes and learning how to improvise with the major scale. The third reason to learn the major scale, and maybe my favorite reason, is because the major scale actually just doesn't tell us the notes of the scale, it tells us the chords that work within the key. So, if we take a look at the major scale, the first note is C. That also translates directly to the first chord of the key of C, which is C major. And it goes in this order through the key. So basically, by learning this major scale, you can learn all of the chords that live within the parent key of C major. So we have C, C major. Our next note is D. And the second chord of a major key is a minor chord. So when we play the D note, that corresponds to our D minor chord. Our third note is E, which also corresponds to a minor chord, so our third chord is E minor. So we have C, D, E, which correlates to C, D. You can hear that ascending line happening with the chords. Our fourth chord and fourth note is F, which you can see here, I'm playing part of this chord shape that you probably have learned before, F major. That's a major chord. Our 4 chord is always major in the major key. We move on to our fifth note, which is G, which is also correlates to our G chord. You're actually playing the note within the chord right there. So you have a G, or even a G dominant 7. So we have C, D minor, E minor, F, G. Take a guess. Is our 6th chord major or minor? If you said minor, you were correct. Our 6th note is A, and that correlates to A minor. Our 7th note is B, which goes to our diminished chord. The 7th chord is diminished in a major key. And then finally we finish off here on our C note on the 3rd fret, which looks just like what chord? That's right, good old C major. So you've played through now all of the chords in the key. So you have, again, C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and you end on C. Now, you have a lot of tools at your disposal just by learning one scale. You have all of the chords in the key, you have all of the notes in the key. So now, if you're somebody who's interested in chord melody, you could take and use this improvisational technique to utilize the scale by playing a couple of chords with a combination of notes from the scale within it. So let's say you want to go from C to a D minor chord. Well, you could play the C chord, note, note, chord, and back. So there's so many possibilities if you have the major scale. I'm going to put together a PDF for this that'll include all of this information, scale patterns, chords, keys, some stuff about chord melody as well. Make sure you go over to AllForUke.com where I have a ton of free resources for you guys and also a plethora of courses and other valuable materials that'll help you on your learning path as a uke player. My name's Kevin. Join me back here for our next video. I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you next time.
Meet me down by the seaside. We can howl at the moon rise. Watch as the tide strolls